Chapter 5, verse 7, and they shall confess their sins that they did. Chapter 5, verse 22, your midsection distend. What did these two verses have in common? What is the connection between these two verses? And lastly, what do the words that they did have to do with our Parsha? Why are they there? So we understand the words, and they shall confess their sins. It says right there that they sinned. You must confess what they did to Hashem. But why does it say that they did? And it teaches us that we all have control of when and how we sin, and if we do sin. You see, a person, if a person is involved constantly in holy acts, studying Torah, learning, davening, whatever it is, if it's something holy and is busy, then he has no time to sin. The person is also busy doing work and helping people out, doing mitzvahs. He also has no time to sin. So a person who is not in this mindset of doing constantly what is holy would constantly be in a mindset that he's able to sin. And that's what the words that they did means. That we all have a share in how we act in life, whether we sin or not sin, whether we use our time and our actions for good or for bad. Which brings me into the next verse. Your midsection distended, in chapter 5, verse 22. What does that have to do? What does that mean? So that means that a woman gives birth, her stomach just goes out, and when a woman sins also, she is killed through the same action. And she's killed by drinking a drink called sota, which we learned about in this week's Parasha. Now, every body part that we have can be used in two different ways. The first way the body part can be used is for the good. The second is for the evil. Now, we often find that we are sad. Now, how do we get the sadness up into joyous, into good, into happiness? So we say that good and evil, one body part can do good and evil. My right hand can both bring pleasure, can bring happiness to somebody, or it can be sadness to somebody. But it can also bring somebody to joy that's sad. And the way that this happens is, Rabbi Nachman brings down in the Kutei Moharan that when people sing and dance and they grab somebody by the arm and they bring them into the circle, that's elevating them from sadness into joy. A person cannot continue to be sad if he's dancing and singing away. It is impossible to do. I dare you to try it. Go out now and try dancing and singing and see if you stay sad. I guarantee it will not happen. And you know why? Music and dance goes deep into the soul. It hits deep within us. That's why I always see Parasha Hasidim dancing and singing. They always want to be happy and elevate themselves in the service of Hashem. Rabbi Lezer Brody Shlita brings down a story this week's Parasha in his book Hasidic Pearls. There's a dairy farmer, Stanzalov. He's in a town, and he's one of the most happiest people in the town. Probably the happiest person in the town. He's always constantly dancing and singing and happy. And the town folks don't know why. And they don't know how he got to be this way. But we learned that Stanzalov, when he's sad, he takes out his fiddle, plays it, has a little l'chaim from his homemade schnapps. And he learned one night, stands it off, goes out to the barn to milk his cows. He lights a lantern and puts it down. Puts down the stool, sits on the stool, and out runs this ginormous rat between the cow's legs, startling Stanislav. Stanislav kicks down the lantern, setting fire to the entire barn. Stanislav says to himself, what must I do? The barn I can rebuild. I must save the cows. And so he does. He saves all 7 cows. Now safe outside the barn, Stanislav says, brrr, it's cold. What do I need a cowshed for? I don't need it. And he takes out some l'chaims, throws the l'chaim, some schnapps, starts playing his fiddle, and before you know it, Stanislav is singing and dancing away, happy. He gets near the fire, uses the fire for warmth in the cold and night, and he's just happy. He's taken the bad, the fire, and elevated to good. Now, in the distance, Stanislav's neighbors, they see the smoke and the fire coming from his direction, and they rush over to find him, to see if he's okay and how they can help. And what do they find? Guessed it. Stanislav singing and dancing and playing his fiddle without a care in the world that he has lost his barn. We can learn from this many things, but one thing that I take away from this story, is there are 7 cows. Now each cow can represent one day of the week. Now Stanislav epitomifies happiness. He's the 8th day, Shabbos, the infinite. We must take the mundane of the weekdays and turn it into joy of the Shabbos. That's what we do every day in Kabbalah Shabbos. We sing the songs that make us happy. We dance the night away. That's what we can do to elevate the bad to the good. My bracha to you all listening and watching this at home is that you too will understand and come to be able to reach this level that Stanislav has and that many other people have, of being able to transform the mundane and the evil into the profane and the happiness, the joyous, the good. Today is still Rosh Chodesh Sivan, so Chodesh Tov. Get ready for Shavuos next week. I will be giving another Devar Torah before it happens on Tuesday night. We receive the Torah from Sinai. Have a beautiful weekend and a good Shabbos. See you on Tuesday.